There. Now you can start.
Good morning, this is Helen Holguin. I work here at UFCW Local 770. I'm going to give you a little information about our very famous and powerful man, Cesar Chavez. Cesar Chavez was born March 31st, 1927, and passed away April 23rd, 1993. He was 66 years old when he died. He was a great labor movement activist. He was born in Yuma, Arizona. He was named after his paternal grandfather, Cesario, who had crossed into Texas in 1898 and had established a hauling business near Yuma, Arizona, and then he bought a farm in 1906 in Sonoma. Cesar was 10 years old when his parents lost their Arizona farm amid the Great Depression. They then moved to California. They became migrant farm workers. Cesar dropped out of school after 8th grade. Cesar dedicated his life to improving the treatment, pay, and working conditions of farm workers. He dedicated his life to La Causa. Cesar went into the Navy in 1946. He was in for about 2 years. When he came out, he worked as a community labor organizer. He worked at CSO. This was in the 1950s. He married his wife Helen. They had 8 children and later 31 grandchildren. Chavez founded the National Farm Workers Association in 1962 along with Dolores Huerta. The union joined with the Agricultural Workers Organizing Committee in its first strike against grape growers in California in 1965. This strike lasted 5 years. Strike ended in 1970. They finally reached a collective bargaining agreement. Cesar was inspired by the nonviolent civil disobedience pioneered by Gandhi in India. Cesar went on hunger strikes. This is what ruined his health. President Clinton awarded his family a posthumous Medal of Freedom in 1994. He presented this to Helen, his wife. Also, President Barack Obama borrowed a Chavez slogan, "Si se puede." Cesar Chavez Day is a commemorative holiday proclaimed by President Barack Obama in 2014. There were 4 major accomplishments for Cesar: advocating rights for all working class families, creating the National Farm Workers Association, implementing nonviolent protests. He relied on marches, boycotts, and hunger strikes. This method of protesting gathered the attention of Jesse Jackson and Robert Kennedy, along with President Bill Clinton. Creating union contracts and getting health benefits for farm workers, that was one of his other accomplishments. Okay, my personal experiences with the farm workers was when we went to a workers' rally one evening at the Stevens Steakhouse in the City of Commerce, a very famous restaurant. We were going to be expecting a great dinner. Instead, we were told when it came time to eat that we were going to eat like the farm workers. We were served beans de la olla and French rolls, quiet and experienced. When Cesar would also be invited to different banquets and stuff, he would sometimes ask my mom to make him cheese enchiladas. He was a vegetarian. When my dad passed away in 1990, Cesar did my dad's eulogy. And I had the opportunity also of attending Cesar's funeral in Delano. He was a very, very great person.
How do you know Cesar Chavez?
Huh?
How do you know him personally?
Personally, because he was very good friends of my dad. My dad was J.J. Rodriguez, who was head of the Butcher's Packing House Local in Vernon.
Did you join any of these events?
I did all the events, and I also helped go hand billings for his protests and what have you. So I knew the family quite well.
So what are the flags behind you?
The flags, one of the flags is the UFCW 770 flags, and we used to use that when we'd go on the grape boycotts. And the other flag is the United Farm Workers flag that they would take all the time to all their different rallies and protests.